Well, Gary Mason from Wandsworth has won all his 8 professional fights. He's won them all inside the distance, and some of them haven't gone very far. But I think they're trying him pretty highly tonight, because his opponent, Louis Pergaud, from Cameroon, although he's 35, is a man who's had 43 professional fights, and he's been a pro for 9 years, and that includes a shot at the WBC light heavyweight title back in 1980. So, well, I think Pergaud might be a little bit over the top, but nonetheless, it looks to me as though this is an interesting opponent for Gary Mason.
Of 8 rounds, 3 minutes each round. Presenting from Wandsworth, London, Gary Mason. And from Cameroon and Germany, Louis Pergaud. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in today, Mason scaled 16 stone 9 pounds, Pergaud 14 stone 4 pounds. Your referee for this contest is Mr. Mickey Van, and your timekeeper, Mr. Ray Rice.
Well, as you can hear from the announcement, Pergaud, coming from the right, is giving away 33 pounds. And he's 35 years old, so he's 12 years older than Mason, and giving away 33 pounds. But he's the man with the experience, and Mason isn't. Scheduled for 8 rounds. Will it go as far as that? Mason, white shorts, the big puncher. Man who's won 5 of his 8 fights inside a round. Beginning to be known, Mason, as the other Bruno. Out of the same camp, and beginning to put together a record that looks exceptionally like Bruno's record in the early stages of his career. The man from Cameroon, based in West Germany, Louis Pergaud, is a southpaw, 35 years old, 43 pro fights behind him. Now, can he give all that weight away and use experience to fend off the big-hitting Mason? Very interesting equation. Pergaud has met 6 British opponents before this, and he's beaten all of them. But he's already got blood on his face, Pergaud. Up on the forehead. Might be coming from the left eye. Difficult to tell. Seems to be somewhere up over the bridge of the nose. And Mason already is picking him up with quite sharp punches. And Pergaud is never going to survive this if he keeps taking punches like that. He's bleeding already quite badly on the face. And this man who fought for the world light heavyweight title back in 1980 against Matthew Saad Mohammed only lasted 5 rounds with him. But nonetheless, he's a man full of experience. But look at the state he's in already. And we're only 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the fight. Good right from Mason. Pergaud's head right back on his shoulders. Well, this West African, who's based in Germany, is spreading his blood all over the place, and some of it is landing right here among us ringsiders. And Pergaud's not looking very happy about this. Here's a man of 35 who clearly is past his best, and Denny Mancini's going to work on that cut, which is somewhere up in the center of his forehead. And at least there was one right hand in that first round that jerked his head right back, and we'll see it again here. There it was, look at that. His head almost snapped off its stalk. So he's got all sorts of problems, and Gary Mason, 23 years old, from Wandsworth, looking good in this fight, as he's looked good in so many fights so far in his professional career. A man who's already stopped one opponent in 48 seconds. Frank Robinson was the unfortunate victim on that occasion at Bethlehem. The southpaw in the dark trunks, Louis Pergaud from West Africa, from Cameroon, based now in West Germany. Never lost to a British opponent, but it'll be a surprise after that first round if he doesn't do so tonight. Pergaud's initial on the leg of his trunks, LPN, Louis Pergaud Ngachu, which is his African surname. He'll do well to stay upright in the second round, I tell you.
Hey, step back! What's on?
Pergaud is used to hard fights. Mason needs to pace himself a bit here.
Come boxing! Watch the head.
Watch the head is the caution referee Mickey Van gives to Pergaud in round 2.
Right, step back! When you're told, box on.
Mason must know that he's got the punch to destroy this man. The question is, he's got to take his time and find the right opportunity to throw it and not waste his strength hitting empty air. He's got to mark himself on his left eye. Mason in the corner of the left eye, above. Pergaud is just stealing his way back into this a bit. Slapping a little bit. Mason letting Pergaud do a lot of work in the second round.
Go on, Gary! Bring him up, Gary! Jab it out, Gary! Come on!
Break! Step back!
Go on, Gary!
Box on.
Mason just getting himself messed about a bit here. Into the second coming up.
Come on, Gary!
Come boxing!
So suddenly, a fight that looked as though it might be over very quickly is now beginning to look as though it might bring a few problems for Mason, who is cut by the left eye. Terry Lawless going to work on it in the corner. And so it just proves the point that although the man in the other corner is that much older and giving away all this weight, he's still experienced enough to handle himself against a big puncher. And he's not even bothering to sit down this time. Mason has looked absolutely destructive against the opponents he's had so far. He had his first American opponent in his last fight, Charlie Hostetter, and he got rid of him in 2 minutes and 35. But this one is looking a little different.
Box on, boys.
Round 3 and scheduled for 8. Mason in the white trunks. Pergaud is gaining in confidence, minute by minute. Southpaw. From the United Republic of Cameroon, which before the First World War was the Cameroons, belonged to Germany, and then Britain and France shared ownership of it after the First World War. But in 1972 it became an independent republic, although the French still have a big interest there.
Go on, Gary. Bring him up, Gary.
Come on, Gary.
Come on, Gary.
Go on, Gary.
Nobody has got beyond 5 rounds so far with Mason in his professional career. We're in round 3 at the moment, and Mason beginning to put a few useful punches together again. Mason 16 stone 9, enormous weight. Pergaud 14 stone 4.
Come on, Gary.
Break! Step back.
Bring him up. Bring him up. Come on, mate.
Keep that head up.
Bring him up, Gary.
It's always looked on paper like being quite a severe test for Mason, and it's proving to be so. One moment you're fighting very ordinary heavyweights, and suddenly you find yourself up against a light heavyweight, virtually, who has all the experience in the world. Well, it will take all of Terry Lawless's expertise here to convince Mason that he's got to just keep himself together and wait for the chance, and then when he sees the chance, throw the big punch. Because I'm sure that if he gets it right, Pergaud will go, but he mustn't get himself flustered and bamboozled out of it by a man with more experience. Mason, born in Jamaica, used to box for the Wandsworth Amateur Boxing Club. Didn't have a great amateur record, but his pro record is proving to be pretty good. Louis Pergaud Ngachu, who was due to fight in the Olympic Games of 1976 in Montreal, but took part in the African boycott of those games, so we never saw him in action. Mason from Wandsworth in the white trunks, 33 pounds heavier than the African southpaw, Louis Pergaud. He's 28 wins in 43 fights. Pergaud's record, 1 draw, 14 defeats. He's been stopped 7 times. But he is used to fighting in good class.
Keep walking, Gary, all the time. Again, Gary. Come on, Gary, come on, Gary. Don't jump it, Gary.
Pergaud seeing the right hand coming. so far. Neither man now worried by the cuts. Mason has got a slight cut near his left eye, and Pergaud is cut over the bridge of the nose.
No boxing. Both boys. Watch your heads. Both boys. Watch your heads.
Again, the caution from Mickey Van about the heads. Mason now surely must be beginning to feel that he needs to get a good right hand across. He hasn't really disturbed Pergaud since the first round.
Come on, Gary.
Break. Step back.
That's it, mate.
Pergaud making him miss it. He got it in. He got it in. Now he's pushed over. Not a punch. Pushed over. And Mason's finally has lost patience.
Those arms down.
Good right handing from Pergaud on the bell. Well, that was a fair bit of action there. Mason finally lost patience with taking his time. Got pushed over, first of all. We'll see that again here. Well, he got his legs mixed up with Pergaud's and over he went. No punch. And now suddenly the fight is all over because Pergaud's corner have retired him. So unexpectedly, Mason finds himself the winner. Not too satisfactory an ending there. Here's the official decision.
Retires at the end of round 4 with a bad cut over the left eye. Mason is the winner.
Well, the Pergaud corner decided to pull their man out with the cut, which didn't seem to me to be troubling him all that much. But they've decided to take him out. And so the 35-year-old Louis Pergaud, the southpaw from West Africa, with a great white patch over the cut, retires at the end of the 4th round, and Gary Mason maintains his unbeaten record as a pro. But that wasn't a satisfactory finish, and I certainly was by no means convinced that he was going to come out on top if it had gone all the way.
They leave the ring, they did their best.